Okay, so let's wrap up our discussion on the feminine economy. I realize that I never really said anything about Scandinavia, and in the 70s, in the 1970s, Scandinavia started putting women into leadership positions in their parliament at very high numbers. They achieved like 30% in their parliament, and they've continued to have that around that up until now. And so Scandinavia is, of course, socialist. They have a socialist economy, and what that means is that it's not communism and it's not capitalism, it's in between. So it means they have a very big governmental section of the economy, much bigger than we have here in America, where we have most private. Our biggest section of the economy is private. But I don't really feel like getting into that too much, because all of that is sort of still the idea of a masculine economy, because at the base of everything, it's about a market transaction. Now, you can see in the Scandinavian countries where socialism speaks to the values of femininity, in that really the whole idea behind the socialist system is that everybody has their needs met. Some people are, yes, more wealthy than others, but everybody has their needs met. This is very important to the feminine mind frame. So you can see that there, and I'm not going to say that socialism is the way that I believe, because it's still based on a money market transaction and nothing else. And so the problem with that becomes the money system is unsustainable. That's really the problem that we're dealing with around the world now, and that the masculine mind frame can't wrap its mind around, because it believes that the market exchange is the only economy that exists. Socialism is a form of the market exchange. Capitalism is a form of the market. Communism is a form of the market exchange. But you see, they're all market exchange and nothing else. Okay, but what you see is the Kung, who back here had the gift. Whoop! They're all the way up here still with the gift. You see, the gift is the most sustainable system that humans have ever created. Now, I'm not suggesting that the modern world go back to the gift and nothing else. What I'm suggesting is something in the middle, where some things are worth money and some things aren't. We'll talk about that at another time. Right now, let's finish up our discussion on the feminine economy, all right, with some statistics, because I want to make sure that we're talking about real things. I like to talk about feelings and sort of metaphysical things, and commonalities and stuff like that, okay? But we need to also have some data, some real statistics. It's very important. When we talk about these things, we'll say, for example, commonalities and this and that. Well, we need to back that up. So a commonality in the market system is that it is a system that is created by the masculine principle. What does that mean? It means that this system of economy has been created from the values of the masculine mind frame. It's all about the values, the needs, the way the masculine mind frame sees economy. And so because of that, because it's designed with the masculine mind frame and how it wants to do economy in mind, what data can we have to prove that this is really happening? Well, we should see that the masculine economy, it advantages men and it disadvantages women. So let's look at that. Just a second. So right here, this source is going to tell us this. The market exchange, this source is going to tell us this. About 70% of all adults facing absolute poverty around the world are women. This is a college textbook. This is a real statistic. This is a real problem. 70%, that's unacceptable. That's an unacceptable percentage. You can see, obviously, that the feminine is disadvantaged by this system. At the end of the day, numbers don't lie. Okay, let's see another one. Here we go. This source is going to tell us that women own less than 1% of the world's property. Less than 1% of the world's property? That is unacceptable. That is an unacceptable percentage. We are 50% of the population. We own 1/10 of the world's income. And we put in 2/3 of all working hours on Earth. So what did I say earlier? Our plate is full, right? We're overworked and underpaid, right? The work that we do, that we have to do, that we do as our gift, it's not valued. I can't just be a mom. You see? I mean, if I marry a rich husband, woo, then I can be a mom. But you see, I can't just be a mom, which is what I'm expected to be. I'm expected to be a mom and go to work, make money, you know? I can't just be a mom, but I'm expected to be one. It's hard to wrap your brain around this, but this is the essence of economy. That's why the market system disadvantages women. Let me tell you another statistic. This is a college textbook. Okay, it says, the burden of modernization falls most heavily on women whose workloads often go up and the value assigned to their work goes down. It's right there in black and white in a college textbook. These are real things. So, I think that that's all of the data that I'm going to give you, because at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is we're talking about the fundamental differences between being a woman and being a man, okay? And the way that this structure has been built, we all know that the beginnings of the marketplace economy was structured by men, you know, with the values and with what men wanted the economy to be like. And so now we have to deal with this in one way or another, okay? To sort of pull it apart and to give a nice example of what the feminine economy looks like is something we don't often get to see. And so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what does the feminine structure look like. And so then once we know what the feminine structure looks like, we can then say, how can we marry the two? Now that's for some videos down the line. We're going to talk about how to marry all of these structures together so that both win. The feminine wins, the masculine wins, you know, and we can start to have a little bit more support as women with all the things that we're expected to do in our lives. I hope that this has been informative, and I will talk to you in 2 weeks. We'll have a new video about another big structure. See you then.